Meet 27-year-old Paul Skates from Somerset. He's dedicated his life to the pursuit of pleasure. Trouble is, his finances can't keep up.
My relationship with money is it's a one-way relationship because it's all about me taking it and not giving anything back.
Despite earning £1,800 a month, his debt has reached a hair-raising 36 grand.
I love spending my money mainly on socialising, pampering and making myself look good.
Maybe £110.
Very much.
Paul's rising to the challenge of cold turkey with style. But if he's to make it part of his everyday life, he'll need to identify the reasons behind his need to spend.
Hi, Paul Skates to see Benjamin, please.
Psychological coach Benjamin Fry calls him for a meeting to identify the root causes of his compulsion.
What does it feel like to have your parents come to the rescue?
It's embarrassing, especially at my age now. It's one of those kind of...
Paul's parents have paid off £20,000 of his debt, and Benjamin wants to discover why.
Well, let's think then about, not about money, and not even about numbers, but let's think about the family dynamic in a sense.
With my mum, I'm probably overly protective of her because she has an illness, and we're very close.
Has this illness been going on for a long time?
Yeah, she's had it since she was in her 20s, and still it affects her greatly now. As the years have gone on, it's progressed further, the illness, because it's one of those kind of debilitating illnesses. So I've seen it more, and obviously as you're growing, I don't think I notice it as much as a child, but as an adult now, I'm more aware, and I can see physically it's in,
Is it okay for you to tell me what the illness is?
Yeah, she's got renal failure. So I suppose that's why I'm always overprotective.
What you're talking about, in a small way, is a reversal of the parent-child dynamic. Now, clearly that wasn't the only part of your relationship with your mother, but it's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we can think about is, did it make you under-responsible? Mm-hmm. Are these both reactions to encountering responsibility earlier than other children might do? I think
As a child, Paul felt overly responsible towards his ill mother, and Benjamin suspects this lies behind his spending.
What happens if you stop watching over her? What's your worst fear?
That anything could happen to her, which would
devastate you.
Yeah, it would devastate me. So therefore there's that fear, isn't there?
Being the support of someone who's ill is difficult. And inside that difficulty are many, many complex and upsetting thoughts and feelings that rarely see the light of day. Mm-hmm. One may be, I've done this to you, I've got to heal it. Another may be, I'm really pissed off with you for being ill. It would have been so much nicer for me if you'd been well.
I would never, ever resent my mother, and especially not for an illness, because it's not because she always wants me to be off doing my own, not worrying about her, but I can't help that.
You say categorically you would not feel like that, but you've behaved like that.
Yeah. We've got,
Paul's finding it hard to accept, but Benjamin's keen to see if there are any other clues.
Is there anything you can't bear or you've got phobias about or you're very afraid of? Or...
Heights.
Yeah?
I have the biggest fear when it comes to heights. I just don't like heights at all.
How do you feel when you're in a high place like
I'm going to fall off. Yeah. But it's just a fear.
But it's a vertiginous sense of being higher up than you should be. And to me, it reminds me of a sense of exaggerated responsibility for a child.
Benjamin wants Paul to face up to his relationship with his mother. He believes that Paul's fear of heights is linked to the heightened sense of responsibility he felt for her as a child, and that this now manifests itself as a fear of high places.
You all right on these stairs?
Yeah, the stairs are all right, actually.
Yeah.
Benjamin's brought him to Crystal Palace, where the facilities include a 5-metre, a 7.5-metre and a 10-metre high diving board.
How are you feeling up here?
As soon as I got onto the last step, it was like the rushing and the anxiety and lightheadedness kicked in.
It's a bit more serious up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I'm particularly worried about is that this sense of vertigo relates to a highly exaggerated sense of responsibility for your mother. What I'm thinking is that this is your mum.
OK.
And you are holding your mother. You're taking responsibility for your mother. So you're going to the edge of the diving board with an extra burden. And I want you to think about that as we go to the front of this quite high diving board together.
Right, OK.
OK? You up for that?
Yeah.
OK, just come, take it easy, one step at a time. Gently does it.
The first board is 5 metres high, but for Paul it's almost too much. Now Benjamin wants to address the apprehension he felt as a child.
Vertigo is an expression of your anxiety. Can you hold on to it?
It's funny how, like, when we explore it further, maybe that I've taken on the responsibility without them saying, right, it's your responsibility to look after. It's weird how you take it on yourself.
That's one of the weirdest things about young children. It's absolutely universal that they all take it on themselves because they don't understand there's a world without them.
Right.
They just see the world from birth as being because of them and about them. So if anything happens, even an earthquake, they'll think they did it.
A nervousness about it, but not.
With Paul responding to his line of inquiry, Benjamin decides to take things further, by another 5 metres.
You fancy it then?
Well, let's give it a go and see how we get on.
Do you feel any more confident now than you did at the bottom?
I think so, yeah, because it's kind of like testing the water, isn't it? Now you know what to expect.
But it isn't long before the heightened sense of responsibility takes hold.
Right.
Just bring yourself gently towards the front, if you can.
Right, here is where it all kicks in.
OK, it's all kicking in.
It's like there's a line.
OK, so let's go to this line. Now, it's kicking in the sense of...
Yeah. Awareness of the height,
High up. And your reaction to that, again, is that feeling of wanting to just fall in, get it over and done with?
Or just walk back down the stairs.
Well, that's a reasonable option.
Paul's progressing well. There's just one final step to take.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how you feel at giving me the ball, giving me your mum to look after. Just for a minute.
Yeah, I can do that.
So you have no responsibility.
Right.
You're no longer responsible for her. Someone else will take care of her for you. And then I want to see if that changes your relationship with how you feel being up here.
OK.
Yeah, sure?
Yeah, no.
Sure, I'll look after her. Promise.
OK.
Take it seriously.
It's not too bad, but it's still, like, rather not be stood here for too long.
OK, but the moment you gave me the ball, you walked to the front of the platform.
Yeah.
No hesitation, not a word.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually.
At last, Paul is beginning to understand how his relationship with his mother is at the core of his relationship with money.
I think that the reason you punish your parents over money is because you're actually angry and upset that you've been hanging on to this.
My compulsion and impulsive nature to spend, it's like I'm trying to reward myself because of my mum's illness and stuff, so why shouldn't I? Sod it. Let's go and just have what I want because everything else, you know what I mean?
And why shouldn't they pay for it? Because she's the one that's ill.
Feeling elated, Paul's fear momentarily slips and he decides to take a leap into the unknown.
So, hold on, you're the guy with vertigo and you spontaneously want to jump off
just to
10
see
metre
what it's
diving.
like, you know?
Remember, don't look down, don't think about it. I'm going to count down from 3.
Yeah, all right then.
I'll give you the countdown. 3, 2, 1...
He's taken the plunge in his relationship with his mother. It's now up to him to do the same with his finances and his future.
That's amazing. No more vertigo for you.
I think today, like, especially with regards to my mother, it's kind of made me realise that I don't need to wrap her up in cotton wool to protect her. She's still just as safe whether I'm there or whether I'm not. But I think I've gone through that journey and I feel quite a lot different, actually, to be honest. My financial burden was the last hurdle for me to get over, so I feel like I've now been able to put that to one side and put it on the shelf and get over it. So it now makes me very excited about my future and also my career.